have a car, 2 kids, and a wife. I'll probably be here for the rest of my life. I'm living on the island. When summer comes and winter falls, the island leaves the shopping malls. Take daddy's credit card, charge it all. They're living on an island. Oh, we're living on Long Island. Oh, you know it's so much fun. I'm living on the island. I'm just basking in the sun.
Hey, Andy, give me a vodka. Is that your Camaro? It's gorgeous.
You know, I went to high school with Billy Joel.
I go to Hamptons on Friday night. I party hard in the sunshine, right? Then I'm sitting in traffic on Sunday night. I'm living on an island. Yeah, living on Long Island. Oh, you know it's so much fun. I'm living on the island. Am I hurting anyone? Let's live.
Hey there, islanders. If you're going out to the beach, you better get an early start. Traffic is miserable.
Well, I'm coming of age, you know, Bethpage, trying to get down in Levittown, dancing in the dark in Floral Park. I think I'll stay in Oyster Bay because I'm living on an island. Yeah, living on the...
Hey, what's up, guys? I just wanted to say hi, and I hope you have a fantastic show. I know it's going to be great. Good luck. These fucking guys think they can do the show without me. What I bring to the table? Out of their fucking mind. Some good ham.
Yeah. Welcome to the Gagootz Show.
Living on Long Island.
Living on the island. And I just want everyone who's watching to know that was totally unexpected, that video. I didn't know about. Jen is not here tonight.
The great Jen Snortland.
The great Jen Snortland, my co-host.
Your co-host of the show.
Co-host. So tonight, this is like going back 25 years of my buddy, my comedy brother, Don Sill.
Yes, that's right,
yeah.
bro. Boom.
Boom.
Yeah, we go way back, Benny. About 25 years or so ago was when we first kind of joined forces. You were writing and promoting your book.
Yes.
The Fang-Tooth Bastards.
Last of the Fang-Tooth Bastards.
Last of the Fang-Tooth Bastards. We had it on the show, on this radio show called the Double D Show on WUSB Radio. You came on the show. We hit it off, and then we were like, can you come back again? Can you come back again? Can you come back again?
And all of a sudden, you asked me to be a regular.
And then you were a regular on the show.
And I have to explain something. I was pushing that book. That book meant a lot to me. I wanted to write something that was scary and funny.
Right, yeah.
But what had happened was I stumbled back into stand-up comedy, which I had done it in the 80s, and then we're talking 1998, right?
Yeah.
1998, I got on your show, and I was doing a comedy improv class with Joan St. Onge, who Joan was like, Benny, I know you said at this open mic you want to read from your vampire novel, but you know you can do stand-up. And I'm like, I know I'm capable of it. And I wound up, what happened was the first open mic, see all these comics, all these really good, Tim Hamioun, young Tim Hamioun, Joe Starr, just to mention two of them. And I believe the host was Paul Bond, and I was like, I got to do comedy. I'm screwed next week. Next week I was booked and I'm like, I got to do comedy, and I wound up doing stand-up.
And I used to go to your shows a lot of the times back in the day too. And then you started your own show at that bakery where you had brought in like guys like Joe Curry were green off the like brand new comics coming up, and there was quite a few comics at this bakery that Benny had in Islip. Right off of Montauk Highway. Is that bakery still there?
No, it's not there. The bakery is there, but not different owner.
Yeah.
And
that open mic was awesome.
I couldn't believe it. I thought it was a dumpy coffee house. It was called the Classic Cakes Cafe. We used to call it the Stale Cake Cafe.
Yeah.
And for some reason, it attracted. I was doing the improv class on Thursday. The open mic I had was on Friday.
Yeah.
And when I went there, people, like you said, Joe Curry, Rich Walker, people would be like, can I come on tomorrow? Can I? And I was doing show up and go up.
Yeah. All you had to do is show up and go up. you know, I think even then it was optional whether or not you bought coffee and some of that stale cake or not. I remember every time I went, I would get the cake and coffee and watch the acts go up, and it was cool. Right by the window. It was a great vibe, and you did a lot of great things for the comedy scene back then. And then we had you on the show, WSB. We had all these great acts that were coming through. We had Joey Cola.
Yes.
Paul Bond used to come in all the time. We had Bob Nelson came through. We had Randy Jackson from Zebra came in. We had, we just mentioned, who was the, Chris Williamson?
Yes, Chris Williamson, our first guest tonight.
Yeah,
Chris Williamson came.
Goes way back.
WUSB, the Double D Radio. And I was honored when you asked me to come on. You asked me to be, not to come on, but to be a regular. Because it was like, somebody told me about your show and said, contact Don Sill. You know, he wants comedians. It shows early in the morning. And I listened to the show. And I was like, I liked your voice. I didn't even know what you liked it. And then I called you. I called you up, and we agreed. You had me on, then you had me on again, and then all of a sudden one day you just said, will you come and be a regular?
Be a regular, and you were a regular. It was you, Ed Richmond, Denise Nicholson.
Yes.
Was the other D in the Double D. And then we had... Brian, what was his name? Brian
Costadora.
Costadora. What happened to Brian Costadora?
Yeah, whatever happened to that guy?
Brian Costadora was a very funny young comedian, and a lot of times, if you listen to the old shows, a lot of times him and Benny would go head to head, and they either legitimately didn't get along, or they only didn't get along on the air. I don't know.
No. Sometimes he got on my nerves. I got to be honest with you. I got to let you know he got on my nerves, and it was like and. He didn't tape himself. It was like he wasn't always funny.
Yeah,
he wasn't always funny. He could be funny, then he could. And then I saw him taking Joan St. Ange improv class in the brokerage.
Yeah.
And one night he was very funny. Other times he would. And then he got me mad because like we were supposed to do a roast battle. And all he did was insult my wife and stuff, you know?
Well, that's before roasts were what they are today. But yeah, I remember that because we were trying to, it was the early incarnations of Put Up, Shut Up, and Stand Up. We were having like a comedy contest of different forms of comedy that would lead up. And you, J.J. Boyd did one.
Yeah, J.J. Boyd was...
So what we did was we would train, it was like comedy training is what we called it. And we would pick from the shoebox an envelope, and in the envelope had the 3 words, and you would have to write a joke.
Yeah, we wrote
Then we had the heckler challenge where we were, you suck, and we yell a little thing, and you'd have to respond to the heckler, and then we had the roast, just like we did all these years later. We'll Put Up, Shut Up, and Stand Up.
Yeah, because then what happened was we stopped doing the show. And then you went to Carolina, right? You went to...
Yeah, so I left WUSB and right after 9/11. So 9/11 happened, and I was devastated by it because, you know, who wasn't, right? And when we got back to the show, it was like early 2002, and all these people were sending in all these American songs. I had Paul Bond on the show, and me and Paul Bond... Because it was the era of shock jock, right? So we were just making fun of all these homemade songs of people like in America, you red, white, and blue, and we're just making fun of it. But
because they weren't good songs.
They were bad.
But they became popular because we wanted to hear songs about America.
Because you never saw more. That was the most Americana I've ever seen the country, and it was a beautiful thing. But yeah, like you said, the songs were so bad that we just threw that aside. We're going for the funny, right?
Right.
So there's some lady called in. I think it was like her son's song or something, and we made fun of her. So then they made all these complaints to WSB, and they wanted me to apologize. But I was so like in a different mindset because of the 9/11 that I was just like, you know what? I'm sorry, not sorry. I'm out of here, and I quit. And that was the end of the WSB show because of that. But it was a weird time. You were on that last show with us, right?
I was, but I left. And then you guys got really bad.
That's right, because we went long that night. We went long. Sometimes the show after us would cancel, and we would take that time.
It was 5 o'clock in the morning, every other Monday morning. 5 o'clock. We had this security guard that he knew us by name, but where's your pass? Do you have a pass? Do you have a card? Do you have, you know? And he was doing that before September 11th.
Yeah.
He was doing it, so I had to deal with that guy. You know, it's 4:30 in the morning. You know, what do you think I'm doing here? So I went, and I was working at, I believe it was 6:30 or so. So I stayed till 7.
Yeah.
I stayed till 7,
That's when the
but
show
you guys
ended,
got to run late.
Yeah, we got to
and
run
I
late.
listened to you, and then I heard that woman call up, and I'm like, oh, this ain't good. But then you went to Carolina.
I went to North Carolina because I got an opportunity to work in sports, and I worked with the Carolina Hurricanes. Because what happened was, now you fast forward a little bit, it's 2004, there's a hockey lockout. I end up getting a job that I probably never would have gotten otherwise.
Right.
So because of the lockout, the whole production team had left and found different jobs. So the guy in charge was an old friend of mine, Pete Soto, called me up and said, Don, if you ever want to get in this business, now's the time. Has me come to North Carolina. I fall in love with North Carolina. Hockey, I'm just fast forwarding through it. Hockey season goes back 05-06 season. By that point, I've already learned how to edit. It's all storytelling, and I was always a writer. So the writing muscle incorporated into the editing muscles. And the first year, I won 3 Telly Awards for my videos, and also we won the Stanley Cup.
And you won the Stanley Cup. And there's more of this. You can find an interview. I interviewed Don because when Don was working for the Carolina Hurricanes, that's when I started the Gagootz show.
Right, yeah.
I did the first, but he couldn't make it. He just happened to be in town for a few days. Couldn't make the show in the studio, so we did it at my house. I did an interview, like a 1-hour interview. We had a lot of fun.
That was awesome, yeah.
And that picture you see, I believe it's in one of our intros for the show,
I'm cracking up
where
laughing.
me going like this and he's laughing, is because I talked about what I'll talk about right now. Don, I don't know where he finds the time. He has 5 children, right? He's a dad. He was doing all these different things, and he was writing. He wrote an article about me for Good Times magazine. He wrote poems. It was like everywhere I looked, Don Sill, something written by Don Sill, and then I became overcome with it because he does this to me. He makes me become funny.
Oh, it's that 7 minutes already.
Oh, it's past 7 minutes.
Wow, all right.
But anyway, so I said, everything's written by Don Sill. I said, do not remove tag under penalty of law, written by Don Sill. And he just inspires the funny out of me. So now we're going to bring somebody who was a guest on the Double
back
D
in
show.
the day, 25 years in waiting.
Yeah, so before we bring him on, we're going to show a video, because what we didn't mention was, before you asked me to be on the show, you were offered an opportunity for a
cable access.
Cable access,
like this
called
type of
No
stuff.
Frills.
Yeah, No Frills comedy on cable access, and you'll see that.
So here's a little clip.
Not much has changed.
And then we'll bring up Chris Williamson.
All right, everybody, how you doing? Welcome back. We got our very first guest coming out. You're probably wondering why the microphone is here. This is because our first guest is going to be stand-up comedian Benny Rizzuti. This guy has been writing and performing comedy since 1983. Real veteran in the field. He recently performed with Joan St. Ange. Jaffa wrote the cue cards. I can hardly read his handwriting. Yeah. And he also played with the East End Players. He performs all over Long Island, and he has recently completed the vampire novel. He wrote it himself, called Last of the Fang-Toothed Bastards. And here he is, ladies and gentlemen. Without further ado, the great Benny Rizzuti. Yeah! Get up.
Yeah, it's great to be here, ladies and gentlemen. Boy, it's great. I'll tell you, I didn't think I could make it, though. I can't win. I had to make this emergency run to Brooklyn to pick up my uncles who were in the Sicilian parade. You might have seen it on the news. It's more like a fashion show, though, isn't it? Isn't it like a fashion show? You ever see it? This wraparound dinner jacket is modeled by Vinnie Garano Pizza Lovelli. And this pullover polo, you ever notice how they pull over the polo? They got one eye hanging out like, hi, Mom, bail me out again, bring meatballs. And the pullover polo was worn by Eddie the Slug Biganozio. Oh, hey, wait.
No profanity here, plus you suck.
You didn't do this to Don.
Get out of here.
Get him out of here. My, oh, my, I can't believe it. Can't use that kind of language here on public access. That's just not right. We got to get Benny back out here. We're going to talk to him in a few minutes, man, after this.
Yeah, that was great.
Good
That
old
was
days.
awesome.
The good old days.
That's the good old days. Chris Williamson.
Yeah, good to be
Welcome.
here. Thank you.
Comedian extraordinaire Chris Williamson. When you came on our show back in the day, we're talking like 24, 25 years ago,
Yeah.
1998, 1999-ish. You just started out, right? It was like you, Petroni, Tartaglione.
So the very first time I stepped on a comedy stage, I was with Eric Tartaglione and Joey Petroni. We all did our first night of comedy together at Governor's at a stand-up U graduation show. And we were probably a lot worse than we thought we were. I mean, we thought we were great because we had, we had a 5-minute act. But yeah, we've been together since day one.
Wow.
The three of us.
You did your own. You took the class.
Yeah, so it's very stand-up U. Not to, they don't pay me to say this, but it was a great place to learn, right? Because
And that was Rich Walker.
Yeah, it was Rich Walker and Peter Bales.
Peter Bales.
And
Not-
Steve Lazarus.
Steve- yeah.
He's like retired. He went to Florida. It's the law, right? Old Jewish guys go to Florida, right? But yeah, so they taught us how to write a joke, which a lot of people, new comics, Benny, right? They don't know how to write a joke. They tell a long story and there's no punchline, So they taught us, and I don't do any of that act anymore, but it's just because I think over time you evolve and you start to do other things. But that first 5 minutes I had got me work, got me on your radio show and stuff.
Yeah. Well, I remember we went to an open mic that you were doing at that hotel.
Oh, yeah.
You were hosting that, and you knew us already.
Right.
Because you said.
Because I probably had Petroni on there by then.
Yeah, you said the Double D boys are here.
Yeah. Well, this was the greatest thing that happened to us. We were new, and we all know Rick Morgan out in Suffolk County.
Yeah, great guy.
He had the Gateway Comedy Club, and it was in the basement of a crappy hotel, basically, right? It was, But he would do Thursday night comics, and he would let me host it, and any comic that showed up could do 5 minutes, and Rick would advertise it in Newsday, so we'd get little crowds at a comedy club, and I really got my hosting chops there because some nights we'd have 22, 23 comics on the bill, it was just...
Well, an open mic, I think that's okay for an open mic.
Right.
And then when he would do shows on the weekends.
Yeah.
And that would only be like 3 comics, right?
Yeah, and the crazy thing was the middle of Medford, around Route 112. Like I met Robert Klein there, who's a new comic. I met Gabe Kaplan was there.
Wow.
Yeah, that's cool.
Because Long Island's a hotbed of comedy, even in Medford on Route 112.
I saw John DeResta there.
Yeah, John DeResta.
And Steve Marshall. Yeah.
Down the road, Governor's had opened up a second club, and it was down the road from there. And Don got me I interviewed Kevin Meaney.
Right.
That's just not right. And that tape, I was like, that was my first interview. Don wrote all the questions for me. But
Right.
the problem was I saw the show ahead of time, so I was drinking beer.
Right.
And then I said some jokes to him. I got Kevin Meaney a little bit pissed
That
off.
interview. I got to find the tape on that. It's awkward.
I
interview.
have it, yeah.
I don't care. I don't care.
Because I said something about Italians and Irish fighting, and not me. I don't. And he like.
Yeah, I was married to an Italian for over 20 years, so we definitely fight.
Yeah.
But it's definitely a lot of stories start with, well, I had a couple of beers. And then it just goes from there.
Dude, I remember with the WSB show when you came on for the first time. I don't even know how we discovered you or how'd you come in, but I remember when you came in, we had a band. And the band was like the Swedish rock band. And they were called like something stockings, like the something's like fishnet stockings. So they're in there in the middle of their performance, and you're just you're a big dude, and you go to lean back and you hit the control thing, and all of a sudden the whole station, woo! I'm like, what the fuck happened?
Oh my God!
Oh man, that was
The whole station went dead.
It was dead, and I had a 9-to-5 job then. So you guys went like 5. So I basically like people were getting up for to go to work, and they were listening to the station, and it just went dead.
You killed it. And a lot of people used to listen to WSB.
Yeah.
I hope they still do.
I had to call so many people, and then finally I got this engineer, and he's like, there should be a button on the floor. Just step on it. And it was just so weird, like out of a movie or something. Like there's literally a button on the floor. I just go, and the whole thing went back on.
The funny thing was,
I was like, damn, I wish I would have known about this button before.
We made fun of you after that. I made fun
of
of
myself. I mean, I have a bad history of bands too. I just co-hosted this heavy metal festival in Forest Hills in this park, and I go up to bring out the next band, and they wanted us to do like a little comedy before the bands, and like Petroni said, this band did not want us to do. They were too cool to have me do anything funny, you know, before they were too serious or whatever, you know. And I didn't even realize, like, I accidentally knocked the bass player's mic. I knocked his microphone over, right? Like, and it was just like they were so pissed. And I remember walking on stage going, like, I just have a bad, like, it doesn't work with me in bands. Going back to your show.
Sometimes DJs. I had a problem with a DJ. I was paid to do comedy, and this DJ was doing music.
Yeah.
And he got mad that I was gonna, and he wouldn't let me use the mic. He was like, really.
I didn't want to mix the comedy.
He didn't want to mix. No, because he was
he's
like,
playing other people's
they could
music.
have paid him more money to talk more.
Right.
That was his attitude. My attitude was I needed the money. I wasn't making a lot, and let me tell these jokes. And he didn't let. I didn't get to do much.
Right. It's funny when you think back to the early days. Like I did a show. It was a fundraiser. I was on the stage. Was the back of a pickup truck. Right. And
I've heard of this before.
It's a biker fundraiser for this poor kid that he had cancer, right? So it's sad, but everybody's raising money. And they go, we're going to have some comedy, and I'm hosting. So I'm the first comic to go up on the stage on the back of this pickup. They go, but before Chris comes up, and they have a band that plays a song. It's the saddest song you've ever heard that they wrote.
That's leading you in?
Right, about a kid with cancer. Everybody's crying. And now they bring me up, and
now for some comedy, folks.
And I'm
now
opening
let's all laugh.
I'm opening up with a bunch of lame
Trying
fat
his
jokes
eyes.
or something.
Oh, yeah, you're doing fat jokes.
Yeah, and they're like crying, you know.
That's
It's just
freaking great.
Those are the worst. Doing shows for like somebody who's sick or whatever.
Yeah.
I did that. And I did one, and I'm talking about myself because my wife said I'm not a good interviewer anymore. I talk about
Just
me.
talk about you.
I tell my own stories. Anyway, I did this show for Matt Pepitone. Asked me to do. You know Matt,
Yeah.
right? He asked me to do a show. They were making money for a guy who they worked with who had cancer or what, and he just came out of surgery. I'm in the middle of my act, and this guy comes in, and he walks in with his wife. So everybody's applauding him. And I was done. I was like, I can't compete. This poor guy is sick, and he's struggling to get in there. Yeah.
Get upstaged.
But all right. Anyway, it looks like time is flying.
Time
over
is
here.
flying by.
Time is flying by. So, Chris, we're going to bring you back after our next guest, who is, we have a, this is the Gagootz show first.
So you got, this is huge. This is a huge night. We got a recurring comedian.
The first time that a guest is doing a back-to-back shows.
Back-to-back
First
shows.
time I ever asked the same guest to come back on the following show because we're every 2 weeks.
We should ask her all the same questions.
Yeah, all
Just
right.
do a complete repeat.
So
I'm only
we're
here
going
for the
to
free beer.
yeah, there you go. Cheers,
there's
brother.
more beer in the cooler.
there's cheese.
If you can find where I put it. So, anyway, now we're going to show a video of our guest who's coming up. We have two quick videos. Mezzy Sarah.
Mezzy Sarah. Yes.
Mezzy Sarah, ladies and gentlemen.
I had a gun, but I kept shooting people by accident. So now I just carry around this thing. Hey-ya! Damn it! Hey-ya! Gotcha, bitch! Gotcha, bitch! Gotcha, bitch! Gotcha, bitch! Who's your daddy? I own this jungle, bitch. Hey-ya! Oh, I own you, motherfucker! I own your ass! Damn! I am the queen of the jungle! That's how the queen does it. That's how the queen likes it. Why are you cheating on me with my cousin who was supposed to be my best friend? I told you. Long Island, hear ye, hear ye. I am having the best birthday celebration September 9th. Shout out to all my Virgos, all right? Make sure y'all pop out. I'm doing it in Long Island because I want to show them how we get down, okay? It's hosted by Gino Strong. It's a comedy show with some amazing comedians. I have my girl Naija Chanel singing. I got the DJ Rooster on the ones and twos, okay? We about to be singing, drinking, dancing, having a good time, laughing, okay? Make sure you come. It's going to be in Baldwin, all right? So no excuses. Unless you have an excuse. Then, I guess you have an excuse, right? Hello.
Mezzy's in the house, everybody.
Yes.
Cheers. Yes.
I love that.
Salute. That Michonne thing you did was fantastic.
That is, you know what? That's so funny because I actually never watched The Walking Dead, so I didn't even know the reference. I watched one episode of The Walking Dead. This woman, I think it was Michonne, because it was the only black one. She's in the jungle. And she's holding a baby. It's quiet. And then, you know, somebody comes out of the damn thing, attacks the baby. I said, I can't watch this. I can't watch this. It's crazy. Baby gonna get attacked.
Then the baby becomes a zombie, and then it's just
that was scary. Yeah. But now you had your hair just like her. And that was so funny when you bring the sword and you cut part of it. I thought that was
so funny because that's not even real. They actually put that in post.
Oh, really? They just had that?
I didn't actually cut my hair.
Very cool.
No, I thought.
Black woman cut her hair?
Yeah, no way. They don't even like when you touch it.
It don't happen, buddy. It don't happen.
What I thought was, I thought you had some hair taped to the sword. And when you went like that, it went flying. That
actually would have been good too. Thank God for post and editing.
Yeah, nowadays you could do post and edit. You know.
You don't have to do all that. And that's funny because that was. I decided to send you that, but that video was like that we shot that like 5 years ago. Oh my God.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So long ago. And I mean, listen, I always push it out there because I'm like, somebody needs to pick that up. It's funny.
Did that go viral? Because it should have.
It should have. I mean, we got a good amount of views on it. I don't think it was like because it wasn't around TikTok time, so it wasn't like
Right.
But you could put it on TikTok now.
Yeah.
I think it still has legs. I think you should do it and do a series of them.
Do like a series of being Michonne. It's so funny because I saved. So that was an actual jacket. I cut the sleeves off. So I saved my little vestito. So maybe I need to. I just gotta get a sword. Everybody has a sword.
We could invest in a sword. We're gonna do a GoFundMe for a sword for Mezzy.
Yeah.
It's gotta be a good one that like cuts through lemons though.
Yeah. So maybe cut some the hair.
Was that a real sword?
Yeah, it was someone's real sword.
Wow.
The director, John, shout out to my guy John. He actually was the one that wrote everything. He actually had that sword. I don't know what the hell he was doing with that sword. I don't know. It's my business.
You make videos all the time, right?
I just started this year. You know what? I'm older, so I look young. Okay, black don't crack, black don't crack.
There you go.
Black don't crack. But no, seriously, I look young, so it's like people think that I'm like on TikTok and stuff, but like I'm not.
All right.
But I told myself this year, I was like, this year I have to put myself out there because I have a talent. I know I'm funny.
You do.
Like, so this year I've been like consistently trying to post more and then I've been posting more, and then somebody had the audacity to follow me and say, you should post more. I said, I will beat you in the face.
They told you to post
more. They said post more than I'm already posting.
Well, that's good. Then at least they're not saying post less.
But I feel like that'd be a lot less pressure. So like,
it is pressure to constantly post and come up with ideas.
Yeah.
But I think you have a natural persona, a natural vibe about you where I think you could be consistent and do it.
Like I met her, Don. I met her. I asked people to send me videos. I was booking. I wanted talent that I didn't know, that I didn't, out of town talent. She sends me a couple of videos, and I'm like, wow, I love her. I loved her. I called her right away. I gave her my phone number. She called me up.
When you get the phone number from Benny, do you think who's this creepy guy, or do you?
Well, no. You know what? It's funny because he actually put it in like a comedy, in a comedy page. So I was the creepy one, like, hello, Mr. Benny.
Mr. Money.
I saw the videos, talked to her a little bit, and I was like, I really like her. I really hope that. And you know what? We did a show 2 weeks ago.
Yes.
And you have no idea how many people, including my wife, Nancy, was like.
Shout out to Nancy.
Nancy rocks.
Was showing me so much love. Nancy, you are a true gem. For real, I'm gonna get a husband one day, okay? And I'm gonna be just like Nancy.
You're gonna be that supportive?
I gotta get a boyfriend first, okay?
You gotta get a boyfriend.
Meet the boyfriend. You're gonna have to propose to me.
Okay? Then you'll be a
Then I'm gonna be Nancy. I'm gonna change my name to Nancy.
Yeah. All right. I'm glad you brought up that because. How many names do you have?
Oh my God! So it's funny. So it's so funny. You guys keep calling me Mezzy Sarah. That's my like proper official like Facebook name. So like when you call me Mezzy Sarah, I'm like, so my real name is Metzline Sarah Des Ravines. My nickname is Mezzy. I actually got that when I moved to Long Island in 2nd grade. My teacher was like, I don't know what the hell your name is. I was like, you can call me Sarah. She's like, we're gonna call you Mezzy. That's just. That's
cool.
a stupid name. And now
it fits you.
20 years later, I'm like, I can't even see myself as anything else.
Right, yeah.
So she knew.
It's always good when the names, when you don't choose a name chooses you.
Yes, yeah, because it would have been weird if I'm like, call me Mezzy.
Yeah. Hey, don't you hate that when people do that?
Yeah.
My name's Dob, and all my friends call me Sticks. And
like, bruh, we ain't calling you
I have a friend Artie.
Yeah, it's like, I ain't calling you Sticks.
I have a friend Artie. His wife calls one time, is Rick there? Who's Rick? I don't work with no Rick. And he's like, oh, at home they call me Rick. But at work, everybody calls me Art.
That's like Petroni. Man. That's like Petroni. There's a guy, Joey Petroni, a whole different identity. He's a great guy.
Yeah. Great guy.
It's always good to say he's a good guy.
Both the two. We're not allowed to say his real name. Okay. But the two identities are great guys.
Okay, he might work for the CIA. All right, just let me know because I need to know. Okay.
Anyway, we did that show together, and she was everything. You were everything I wanted you to be. You were everything, and you are built for comedy. I told you that before, and you are. And you should not stop. Now you should let yourself out there because people are always looking for funny women.
Yeah.
You know, and I know people say, oh, there aren't a lot of funny women. There are funny women. But the headliner of the show was Janice Massetti.
And he's so damn crazy. He tried to have us both on the show. Let me just tell you something about my girl Janice, okay? Shout out to my girl Janice, okay?
If
you think I'm crazy, okay, it's too crazy. He's going to have both of our crazy asses on here. What the hell was you going to talk about?
Oh, you were going to have Janice on this show, too?
Yeah.
No, I told you that, no, I couldn't do it.
Yeah, because you know why? As soon as he made
Janice
the idea, we started over talking. He was like, yeah, maybe that won't work.
No, we were outside afterwards talking after the show.
Awesome.
And I looked at them, and I was, because Janice hasn't been on the Gagootz show yet.
Oh, wow.
She hasn't been on, and she wants to come on, and I love Janice.
Janice is great.
So then when I was looking at the two of them were standing there, and I'm like, no.
That's so it was like that. We were, yeah.
But I do want to do a buddy cop movie with the two of you.
Ooh.
That would be great. Both of you as cops. You're the rookie. She's the seasoned veteran.
Oh, that's hilarious.
And then you got to catch this old pothead guy.
And I'll be
there. That's funny. Oh my God, that's perfect.
That would be great.
See, and that's why I wanted to post the video.
Freeze!
That's why I wanted to post that video because like comedy is like I love comedy, but I think one of the things that expands us in comedy is like doing little like when we get to do a show or a movie or something like that. That puts us in a better standing for comedy. So that's why I was like, put me out there.
Don recently made an awesome short film called Comic Sans.
Ooh.
And
we're
it's
making
really
a sequel.
Good. Nice.
So we might need some people. We might need some mezzies.
All right now, I mean, that's I only got one mezzy to give you, buddy, but I will give it. I'll give you the best mezzy I could give you.
That's it. That's what we want.
Okay, good. I love that.
Yeah, I think so. I think remember with the comedy, I'd say 80% of it is persona and stage presence, and you already got that. So I think you'd be great on screen.
And a friend of mine came down to the show, and she texted me and said that mezzy was great. And what we did do though, because I knew. When I booked you, and I already knew Janice, I've done shows with Janice. That's why I was sacrificing myself in the lineup. If you notice, I was going between you two.
Yeah.
And then Janice got that comedian she brought on who wasn't scheduled, who was brilliant, Big Red.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Big Red, awesome. Shout out to Big Red, he was awesome.
I didn't know he wasn't scheduled. He was really great.
Yeah, no, Janice told me, look, I'm getting a ride, and he's a comic. I promised him time, and she said he's funny, and that's all Janice has to say.
Yeah, because she knows.
You know,
yes.
She knows.
She knows, and they did a show together in Harlem that day, in the afternoon. Harlem Comedy, I believe it was.
Yeah, Comedy in Harlem.
Comedy in Harlem.
Yeah, it's a good club.
Yeah. Comedy in Harlem, and then they came, so she drove him there. So I was like, okay, good. He'll go up, then me. So Mezzy. Really, you rocked the house. You had everybody hysterical, including me. What I could, because I was running around. I was very nervous.
Yeah, you were working. I get that.
And it wasn't my best set. I just want to say that.
Well, it's hard when you're producing the show and you're juggling a lot of things.
I don't know. I was more nervous than I ever was, and I feel my saving grace was earlier in the show. I did Alfredo Gagootz.
Yeah.
And I did Alfredo Gagootz, the 5 of Tings. You should remember never to forget. The 5 of Tings. And I took that happened when Don and I wound up doing a show for Gov's Radio. And we did a show, Put Up, Shut Up, and Stand Up.
A game show.
It was a game show. And then
COVID happened.
And then COVID happened.
That
so we started.
Yeah, COVID shut us down.
With when he called me up to do that game show, I said, there's that character I've been working on for years where I did cooking videos of Alfredo Gagootz. So Don came up with the idea. We'll roast the Gagootz, right?
I wanted the Gagootz character, because you've seen it. It's this outrageous character, Italian. So I said, well, let's have, because I wanted there to be a roasting round where the
Squash
contestants.
the Gagootz.
Yeah, squash the Gagootz is what it's called, where they have to roast the Gagootz. And he's a target because he's got the funny hat, the mustache. He's got, like, there's a lot you could pick on, right? So I said, let's roast the Gagootz. So that was the thing, and Benny at first was like, I don't know if I could do it. I don't really roast. It's not really my thing, and blah, blah, blah. But I was like, no, you could do this. You could roast the Gagootz. And sure enough, they went in there and they and it was freaking awesome.
It went on. It was awesome. It really was a lot of fun.
I've tried to like dibble and dabble in roasting, but my only thing is like if you make fun of me too hard, I might beat you up. I'm saying I'll beat you up.
So you ever see those roast battles in hip hop when they just got to stand there? And
oh the my god! And they're like, "Yo, mama!" I'm like, "Not the mama. The mama didn't do nothing. The mama didn't do nothing."
Well, they'll go after like your
crazy.
family, like your mother's dead. And
it's like, damn, my mama is dead. I'm sad. I'm crying. I'm gonna cry about this.
And this guy just got to stand there and listen to it, wait his turn.
And he literally, his tears like dropping. It's very sad. I can't even watch that.
Then during COVID, I wound up, we were doing a great show that Don was editing. I was like just spewing out anything, and he would edit it to look like I was a comedic genius.
It was called Don and Benny versus the World. Was that show.
So we did, I started doing Alfredo's 5 Things, and I started writing the 5 Things to remember, never to forget. And don't forget to remember. So then when I did the show with us, I took my 5 that I thought were the best ones and put them in an order. And to me, that was my best moment of me on the show. Yeah, but then you were awesome. All the acts,
everybody. You did great too.
Jen was a great co-host. I mean,
yes, Jen.
Great MC.
Yeah, she's away this week.
She's away this week.
She's living her best life on vacation.
She's with the Golden Girls who were on this show. We had a Golden Girls
like
Gone Wild.
One of them are dead.
These are like impersonators.
Oh
yeah, you got to watch that episode. But anyway,
watch that episode.
What video are we going to show now?
I'm not sure which one this might be. Maybe it's the Van Damme. Or
you? Let's do the Nancy Pelosi hates Benny.
This is Nancy Pelosi hates Benny.
That's funny.
And then we'll bring Chris back.
All right, cool.
All right.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to the Comedy Podcast. I'm your host, Donnie Warbucks, and I'm here with one of the funniest people I know. She's been on Comedy Central and all the late-night shows. You know her and you love her, the very funny Nancy Pelosi. Ha ha! Nancy, how are you? You have become somewhat of the comedy police recently and have criticized most of my good friend Benny Gagootz Rizzuto's stand-up material.
He has done something so serious that there should be prosecution against him.
Prosecution? Damn, girl, what the heck did he do?
It is a deranged, unhinged, dangerous, and only a number of days until we can be protected from him.
And what about the comedian Sherry Poland? A lot of people say she's really funny. What do you think?
You'll have to ask her.
Wow, that was kind of sharp. That was pretty sharp, Nancy. I mean, it kind of sounded like you're dismissing her a little bit.
I'm not dismissing her. I respect her. I think she's very effective, as are many other members in our caucus that the press doesn't pay attention to.
Why do you always have to be such an A word, Nancy?
What's that?
An A word?
What's that?
The A word.
What's that?
Asshole. Why you gotta be such an ass? There, I said it. You're an asshole. I'm sorry, but you made me say it. Well, that's the interview for today. I want to thank the very hilarious Nancy Pelosi. And next week, we have the insult comic himself, Mitch McConnell, will be joining us. Take care, everybody, and stay tuned to the Comedy Podcast.
All right.
All right.
Gotta put the Gagootz down. Gotta put the Gagootz down.
Yeah, we got a couple of them.
Why the hell is it? Why in the world would a squash ever even need to be this big? I mean, only obviously this.
No, because it's so tasty. There are big seeds. There are seeds bigger than sunflower seeds inside of these. So I core it. I take that out. I have to peel it, and then I cut it up, and it's a delicious zucchini.
How much time do you spend on the Gagootz? Like, do you spend a lot of time? Is it like making Sunday
like a
sauce or something?
No. Like 2 hours or so.
Jeez.
Because
So 2 hours, you'll be like, you'll be mad.
I'll give you a jar.
I'm telling you, I just started cooking and stuff, so it's like,
Benny
I'm like,
handles
anything that
the-
takes over an hour is like crazy.
Benny
now-
handles the huge Gagootz for 2 hours. Is that where we're going?
That's where we're going. That thing is unruly.
I'm Irish, so.
But I'm not gonna lie, like it would be a great night, like a great night for me, like a great night snack in my bed. Like,
exactly.
I'm gonna lay with me and the Gagootz. It's just me and the Gagootz.
You can take the little one home.
What? Nobody wants a little one, Benny. Come on, really?
Yeah, you gotta have your bigger goods.
Right. Now that I know what the big Gagootz feels like.
Yeah, once you get that, you can't
Right,
go
once
to
you
this.
get that, I don't want that.
You can't go to this.
That's crap.
Only a poor chef blames his Gagootz.
They say it's not the size of the Gagootz that matters.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's not the size.
But it does. I don't know
It's
what
how you
women.
use it.
We know that we lie to them about that, right?
Right.
It's always the size.
Yeah, if they say it's the perfect fit, they're really
Liar.
Yeah, they're
Liar.
lying. That
They're
means it's
lying.
small.
It's
If they
very
say
small,
it's the perfect fit, that means it's small.
Why they lie to you like that? Ooh.
I got that a lot in my life.
Oh, damn it! They lied. He's a
Listen,
good
since-
man. He's a good
Since
man.
we brought this up, I always want black men are known for having big. And
Did you hear
some
my
Italians.
story on? Did you hear my story on stage? I'm not gonna. I can't repeat it.
Yeah, I mean, I remember.
Screening, but I said a story on, and it showed you that that is not all true though.
I'm wondering
Not
where
all
Benny's
black
going
That
with
was a
this.
lie.
Where's Benny going with that comment?
No, because I want.
Is he
available
this weekend?
If the men are so big, how can a woman accommodate that?
Well,
you know,
I think
so,
it's evolution.
Or the black women, yeah, but are
Hell
the
yeah,
black,
the
are the
evolution
black
is,
women built differently?
Hell
than
yeah, apparently. Shit, we out here taking it. We out here taking that shit. I'm just
Listen,
saying, I don't.
I gotta say something about your act. I know
Yes, it's hard to go
Jen's mom
back
was
to this.
teasing. Jen's mom was teasing you at the end of when the show was over. You keep showing your booty and talking about having a big booty.
I do have
you
a big
don't have
butt.
a big
I
butt.
do. I mean, I shouldn't stand up now. It's gonna make it because this is gonna make it look flat when I do it.
That's my problem. I have no ass. I've
know.
been told that many times. I have a back and a crack. That's it. No ass.
But that's like
You know?
that's her catchphrase is pretty much look at my booty. Look at
It's
my
not
booty.
look at my booty. They hired me for the booty. That's my case.
Yeah,
man don't know
if you
what
have the booty,
No, I don't know
if you have it,
nothing.
you gotta
They
flaunt
hired
it.
me for the booty.
Yeah, if you have the booty, you
Come
have
on,
to,
Benny. You know why you hired me. Come on. I mean,
if you have it, you have to flaunt it. That's how I see it.
I've never been hired for the
you-
booty, not once.
Yeah,
Not even
exactly.
once.
See,
No.
like
that's
I would
discrimination and I
say,
feel bad.
I would argue, would say the three of us don't have a booty, so we admire one when we see it.
Yes.
And
Oh yeah.
Well, it's too much pressure because right now my booty it deflates in pressure.
I know the feeling.
Right. Yeah, it's not a good time.
If I go in cold
You're a
water, same
beautiful-
thing.
You are a beautiful woman, and what you're
Yeah,
doing,
whiskey.
what you're doing in this studio with these three losers is beyond
Oh
me.
God, no, we are all in the same boat, and I love it.
Yeah.
I'm so happy to be here. This is
Yeah,
awesome.
and your birthday's
Oh.
coming up soon. You got a
Yes.
big birthday bash.
Oh my
This is
God!
gonna be awesome.
Yes. So
Yes.
actually, I should have sent you the. I'm like editing the flyer. I have a brand. I had to switch it out. So Monique, they're the one that's right in the middle. She's being switched out. I have Debbie Bassa. She actually was on Jimmy Fallon. Yeah, she's on Jimmy Fallon.
Oh, wow.
I know her. for
Yeah,
some-
she's awesome. She is like, and she's gonna get mine because I have like, I feel like I'm gonna have a diverse crowd. So she's like, she's my seasoned. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
My seasoned comedian.
Oh, there
She's
you
about to
go.
come in
Yeah.
here.
Are you hosting? Are you
No, I'm
gonna-
headlining.
Oh,
I don't
you're
like to
gonna-
work. I don't work at all. Like I don't even work at work.
Right? Yeah.
I work at my birthday. You crazy? I'm gonna come
Okay.
in that biatch and be like, yeah. And the thing about it too, is like I'm the type of comedian like I don't, because a lot of people are like I'm scared to come because I've never seen you and what if you make fun of me? I'm like, girl, I would never make fun of you, but I will highlight you. I'm like, yeah, you better wear them sparkles. Girl, did she wear them sparkles today like that? Is she serious?
You make a good point, though. It's,
That's Chris always wears sparkles.
Yeah, always.
He looks good as
I've gotten in trouble coming home. I think it's harder to host than headline.
100%.
Yeah. And
Really?
people are- yeah.
You
I
gotta
think
keep,
so.
you gotta keep
It's
surfing the crowd.
consistent.
You
gotta
walk
keep,
up to a cold room usually.
You
know?
start it
but-
off. You
yeah.
gotta. It's a lot.
And you gotta
I-
keep it going.
I hosted for a long time, including in that open mic that and I liked it because if I forgot a joke, if I screwed something up, I get a reprieve. I come back. I could do that joke.
But in an open
You
mic,
could
that
also
makes sense.
follow. You could do callbacks all night long too.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. In open mics, that makes sense. But like in an actual show, it's like you got to be the one to case, you know what I mean? Case the joint, make sure everybody's got, you know,
Keep
you got
everybody on time. You got the light.
You got to do the light. Oh,
I know. I gave you the light, and it was.
I think I went over. I think you gave me 8 minutes, and
No, you
I
said.
don't even know what 8 minutes
You
is.
said, "Give me the light at 8 minutes," because you were going to do 10.
I knew it. I knew
You
it.
wound up doing 12.
Damn. Why you
But that
gotta
was
tell the people?
okay.
You
That's
gotta-
the sign of the
You
truth.
racist. Clearly, black people. 10 minutes is 12. What are you talking
Yeah,
about?
exactly. He's got to get
Well,
down
you
with
kidding
that.
me? Italian people don't know how to say goodbye.
See, I know.
You say goodbye forever. Goodbye.
5 times, yeah.
And then I remember when my mom was around, I'd say goodbye to everyone. Did you say goodbye to Aunt Mary? Oh, shit, no. And I got to go all the way back, and you got to hug
That's why
everybody
you got to do the
again.
Irish
Goodbye,
goodbyes.
goodbye.
You just leave.
He just leaves. He just
Like,
leaves.
we're good. We're good. We
Where
already.
did Chris go? Yeah, he
Where's
left.
Chris?
yeah.
He's not at the food? No, he must have left. You know, it's like, God.
The Irish
two
were like,
opposites,
I'm,
two
I'm
opposites.
going to get beer. Oh, okay, cool.
Yes.
And then they're like, wow, what's taking Chris so long?
He ain't coming back with that.
Chris is home
coming back.
sleeping now.
Knocked out.
What sucks about being a host too? People, like, you're hosting a show, so you're focused on your comedy, right? And then you got the waitress. The waitress says, "When is he getting? When are we done? What time are we getting?" out?"
It's so much technicality.
You deal with all this stuff that has nothing to do with the comedy.
Right, yeah. You're
a
running
lot.
the show. It's
It's a big
And
responsibility.
I like the people who come up to you when the headline is on
Yeah.
and tell you, you know, when you go up, you should say this joke. And then I'm like, show's over. The headliner,
The
yeah,
show's
show's over.
over.
And they're like, oh, yeah. But they're not hearing you. And they're still telling you the
More
jokes.
jokes.
More jokes.
I love that.
You know what's the funniest thing? You host a show and there's a bunch of new comics, right? And they're giving you 57 credits that no one knows. So one day I learned was give me one credit, give me one credit. But then I was hosting the show and Mick Thomas was the headliner. Mick Thomas, great comic.
Great
Yeah,
Irish comic.
very funny.
Mick, what do you want me to say when I bring you up? Doesn't matter. That's what he said. I go, the next comic, it doesn't matter what I say about him. It doesn't matter.
Rodney Dangerfield had a special that Bob Nelson was on a long time ago, HBO special.
Well, Bob Nelson followed him for a while. He
Oh, yeah.
toured with
Yeah,
him,
Bob toured. So he was bringing up comics and saying, this guy performed there, this guy, and then he says, this comic I really like. I asked him, what intro you want? He said, who gives a shit? and it was Bobby Nelson.
Yeah.
It was Bob Nelson. He was like, who gives a shit?
Who's back on stage now, I just saw.
Yes,
Yeah, so that
good
too.
for him.
for Bob.
Good.
So
Very
what's
funny.
your credits when people say, hey, Mezzy, how should we introduce you?
I'm a queen from Queens.
Ah, there you go. That
What?
works. The next
No,
comic is a queen from Queens. Here she
What?
comes.
That's me. That's me. You better get it.
Michonne, better than Michonne.
Better
Here
than
she
Michonne.
is,
Better than Michonne.
Mezzy,
Better
Sarah.
You know why I'm better than Michonne? I would never have let the baby die of me a zombie.
There you go.
That's
Yeah.
literally why I'd be better than her.
I would have took the L and saved the baby. Got bitten up.
Hey! I didn't say I would take the L, buddy.
You would have just.
See, I would have just booked it. Like me and the baby, we would have booked it. It's fine.
You put it like in a Yoda backpack.
Yeah, and just like
and just-
literally just manifested. We're out.
There you go.
But I just want to say one more time, my birthday show is in
Yes.
Baldwin. I did it in Long Island, so I live in Queens now. But I did it in Baldwin because, like, I started comedy in Long Island. Long Island shows me the most love. And that's why I wanted to do it in Long Island and make sure to see my supporters and everything. It's like I said, I have my well-seasoned comics. I have my younger comics. I have, I want to make sure. I got some black people. I got some white people. All right now. I got
Mixing
some
it up.
white people.
Mixing it up.
Diversity.
Diversity is key.
Now, what day and time?
September 9th. Doors open at 8. Show starts at 9. That's going to be at 1082 Grand Avenue. That's actually called Spices. It's a Jamaican restaurant.
Oh,
We're
nice.
going to open it up. They got to have food, drinks. We're going to be having comedy. I have a small live performance at the end. So it's like, it's my first time doing a comedy show for my birthday. Because I feel like as a comedian, what is a better way to celebrate your birthday?
That's it.
Like doing comedy.
Do comedy, have all
being
your
around
friends
people
there.
that want to support me.
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
the
that's
best way
great.
to do
People. Unfortunately, that's a busy weekend for me because I would love to go.
I already knew. I didn't even send it to you. I was like, this guy's too damn busy for me. This guy's too damn busy. All right, Nancy,
No.
make him unbusy. All right now. Okay,
No,
Nancy?
Nancy and I are going to see Sting at Jones Beach Theater.
Oh.
And I believe it is that day.
Oh, wow.
And then,
Wow, that's actually pretty. That's
And
pretty
then the next day, my son and I are going to Yankee Stadium, which, it's the Yankees.
Okay, make it seem like you were happy about that. He's watching. Oh, Jesus.
I'm going
He
to.
might be watching. Now he's crying.
Now he's crying. He's crying.
Now you got to make him Gagootz soup.
No. My son feels the same way. We love the Yankees.
Yeah. I'm supposed to go to the Yankees tomorrow.
Oh, you are?
For my
Oh, you
job.
going?
Yeah.
I have
Yes,
PTSD
maybe.
from Sting. Years ago, I got tickets to Jones Beach to see Sting in May. It's like the first show of the year. And I went with my ex-wife, and it was kind of cold. She was complaining that it was cold. And Sting decided, I'm going to do a 2-hour show and not play any of my hit songs, right? And the review actually said Sting played what he wanted you to hear, not necessarily what you want to hear.
It's like,
oh, so that's why this one is called The Hits.
That's probably
it's like
why.
you're telling your wife, I'm telling you, the encore.
I'm really sorry. I'm really sorry.
The encore, he's going to play his hits in the encore.
I hate when they do. Bob Dylan does that.
Bob Dylan did not age, his voice did not age well.
We literally get to a point, I'm hoping for a hit song. He goes, here's a song I wrote about fox hunting in London, or something like that.
Oh,
I wrote this little one here when I was fox hunting in London.
Right.
I'm going to see, we're running out of time here.
Yeah.
This show is the fastest show I've
by.
ever done.
Yeah, man, it's
we had so many more videos to show you people.
Oh my, really?
Yeah, we had the Van Damme. People got to check that out online.
Check that out on.
We had Claude Van Damme did a sketch with us.
Really? Jean-Claude?
That's awesome.
Oh, yeah, Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Yes.
Yeah. And
You can find it on.
No, he's alive.
No, he's
Just
alive.
his career.
his career. If he's doing a sketch with us.
That means he's on the up and up. That's what he's doing.
I didn't want to say that, but
He's trying to rebound. But he plays a joke thief in it.
Wow.
And Benny goes off. Benny goes completely
Yeah, he
nuts.
stole a joke from me.
Oh, that's hilarious.
So Benny-
and how are we able to see it?
It's on YouTube. You can find it if you look up. If you go to my YouTube page, put up, shut up, stand up, you can find all these things.
Yeah, go to Don's page. Put up, shut up, and stand up. Where can they find you?
Notmature.com.
Notmature.com.
Oh, I have a website too. Mez, M-E-Z, in ya mental.com. Mez in your mental.
Yeah.
And now you go by the name Mezzy D.
Mezzy D is my stage name. So I was going to tell you guys that it was feeling very like I was in trouble when you kept saying Mezzy Sarah. I was like, who the fuck is Mezzy Sarah? Who the fuck is that?
That's when you get in trouble. Mezzy Sarah.
Mezzy Sarah, you coming right in. But my full name is Metzline, so but it's as close as.
But Mezzy D, okay. I learned something new.
That's me.
Mezzy
I'm
D
queen.
in the place to be.
Get it?
She's from Upper University.
Oh, nice
It's
way
getting
to
bad.
end.
It's getting bad. I like it.
I would hate to host your show because I wouldn't know what name to say when I bring you up on stage.
Only Mezzy D. You shouldn't even know any other name. Like in this one, the Mezzy Sarah. I put Mezzy Sarah because my family doesn't know who Mezzy is. So when they need to find me, they need to look up Sarah because my family calls me Sarah.
The final countdown, folks.
It's the final countdown. I want to thank you all, Don.
Thank you, Benny. This was a blast.
Oh, we should just.
Yes.
All right.
Cheers, everybody.
Cheers.
Woo! Thank you guys for helping me when I was new. I appreciate that.
Yes,
Having me on the
always.
radio show.
And we'll toast Gagootz.
Toast the Gagootz.
Toast the Gagootz. I'm taking
We're
that
crossing
big one.
swords right now, Benny.
I'm
We're
taking that
crossing
big
swords.
one. It might come back a little moist. We can not control
Oh, no, I don't think so. Thank you all. Thank you all for
everybody.
watching. Thanks.
Thank you,
Take care.